الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد ليلة الغراء واليوم الأزهر يوم الجمعة يوم الصلاة على النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. الحمد لله for this suhbah of the beloved of Mawlana Shaykh, who is the beloved of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Mawlana Shaykh Hisham, Mawlana Shaykh Nazim, Mawlana Shaykh Abdullah, Mawlana Shaykh Sharafuddin, and all the silsila. These are the beloved ones of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We are honored on top of honor, on top of honor, top of honor. And we are collecting these honors just like collecting the nur from the faces of the beloved in the suhbah, this suhbah of Mawlana Shaykh. Alhamdulillah for that. On the day of Nur, also the day of Jum'ah, day of general amnesty of the whole Ummah, the day that has so many gifts, so many special gifts given of rahmah and pure generosity from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the day of special extra salawat. This is the day of Jum'ah, the day of salawat. Make lots of salawat on the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad wa sallim. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad wa sallim. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad wa sallim. This is what we have been advised to do at least 300 times every day, minimum. At least 300 times a day, minimum, inshallah, to be closer and closer to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And when we make salawat on the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it means Allah is happy with us. He is the one who is making us make salawat. Because every salat, one from us, Allah makes 10 salawat on you. 10 salawat on you. Removes 10 mistakes from you. Raises you 10 darajat higher. This is the sunnah of Allah, is to give a lot of reward for a little work. A lot of reward for a little effort. Little amal. Allahu Akbar. Yarzuqu man yasha bighayri hisab. Allah gives rizq to anyone He wishes without any account, without limit. We are happy and we are asking for more, especially on the day of the Sayyid of all the days, the day of Jum'ah. In the suhbah of Mawlana Shaykh, which is reuniting our hearts and connecting our hearts to that silsila. And this is also what Khatam Khajagan is for. You are connecting to the whole silsila, and the whole silsila is making dua for you, and istighfar, and inshallah madad and barakat. Mawlana Shaykh Nazim Qaddasallahu Sirra, in his suhbahs of 1979 in Lebanon, he said that one of the levels of perfect iman is to communicate with the awliya of Barzakh anytime. And more than that, to see Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam anytime. Don't be surprised. Mawlana mentioned this, the example of many awliya that if they do not see Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam even for one glimpse of the eye, they think that they are outside the ummah. Yani, non-stop, like Shaykh Abul Abbas al-Mursi and others of the awliya. See. So Mawlana is mentioning about the high levels of Iman, high levels of Iman. He said, among those high levels is the mu'min, Allah gives them the possibility of hearing the tasbih of creation, all of khalq, the tasbih of everything in creation. Then they can hear it. And they can hear it distinctly one from another. Distinct. One from another. More than that, Allah allows them to understand the tasbih of each of these creations. And the hikmah of the difference between each tasbih. Because each one makes their own tasbih, different from the next one, different from the next one, different from the next one. Don't be surprised. We know that in human beings, for example, the faces are different, each one from another. The iris of the eyes are different. The thumbprints of the fingers also, or the fingerprints are different. Same thing also in the nature, like water, snowflakes, the leaves of the trees, everything is different. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is creating everything different. So the tasbih is different also. And why they make this tasbih? Mawlana said, Allah will teach you to understand why. And so at that time, your shukr, your alhamdulillah, your subhanallah is more. And it is on the basis of ilm, knowledge of this tasbih. Allahu Akbar. One time, Mawlana Shaykh Hisham, he asked one murid, that, do you know how many hairs you have in your beard? Yani, you know the number? And the murid said, no, Mawlana, I don't know. And Mawlana Shaykh Hisham said, I know. Allahu Akbar. Haqq. Amanna wa saddaqna. We have seen enough to know that this is not only very possible, and it is aqidah of al-Sunnah wal Jama'ah, that the karamat is haqq, karamat of awliya is haqq. But for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it is very easy to give that kind of knowledge, but gives it for a hikmah, for a hikmah. That means the hikmah is that each of you, each one of us is unique and special. Allah created them unique and special, gave them a unique and special amana and unique and special ism of the Asma'ullah al-Husna. Subhanallah. So it's like the Asma'ullah al-Husna are more and more and more than we can imagine. More and more than we can imagine. Because not one human being can exist except there is one ism from Asma'ullah al-Husna that is making that human being exist. Otherwise, you cannot exist. And that means every creation also, not just human beings. They need that to exist. Otherwise, they cannot exist. They cannot appear in existence. This all to say that they know you, they see you. And Allah is nearer to us than, but we are veiled by dunya, nafs, hawa, shaitan. But everyone is invited to, Allah is saying, come to me and see me. And that is also the promise in Akhirah for every believer to see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reunite us there in Jannah with Mawlana, with all his awliya, friends of Allah, awliya Allah, in this tariqah, and all of them, inshallah, to see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala pleased with us, to see him, and he is pleased with us. Ameen. Mawlana Shaykh Hisham and Mawlana Shaykh Nazim, in their suhbas, they said that Mawlana Shaykh Abdullah asked and was given such karama for the sake of the ummah that you cannot understand how much they love Allah's creation, and they want to, just like Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has taught them to say all the time, ummati, ummati, on behalf of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Yani they want the whole ummah to benefit. Even if we see our gatherings are humble gatherings, small numbers, humble numbers, in the different zawiyas, and we think, oh, our Shaykh, he should be known by more people. But they have asked for that even before we were born. They were asking for that. And so Mawlana Shaykh Abdullah was given that karama, that everyone who comes to the gathering, to my gathering, with acceptance in their hearts, even one time, 1 hour or 1 moment, they sit in the suhbah and they are accepting, even if they do not understand. He said, I want them, this is what he said to his Shaykh Sharafuddin, that I accept to have that amana of murshid for the tariqah and for the ummah, on condition that anyone that comes and sits in my suhbah just a few moments with acceptance in their heart, they will be raised to my level, without any other amal like that. This is a huge karama. This is a huge karama. It is like the Sahaba al-Kiram. They were raised by sitting with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam from Jahiliyyah to teacher of humanity, teaching Islam to humanity. So this is a huge gift. That kind of gift, Mawlana Shaykh Abdullah asked, and he was given that kind of gift. But when will it open for people to see? Said there is no permission yet, because that kind of big karama for people to see, that's for the time of Sayyidina al-Mahdi. This is why they are always asking when. We want it soon, very soon. Always asking, Adharahullah, Ajabanallah. Muhammad al-Mahdi, Adharahullah, Ayyadahullah, Ajabanallah. Yani may Allah bring him quickly. Because now the fitna of Akhir Zaman is too much. It is too much. It has reached a maximum. How much more can people carry? How can it be fixed? We mentioned this morning that Mawlana said in his suhbas that the awliya have no permission. They have power to fix things, but there is no permission for them. Even if all of the awliya came together, they cannot fix it because there is no permission until Mahdi comes. Don't think no politics, no economics, no power, no strategy or thinking or peace or war or anything can fix that corruption that is happening in dunya. It requires extra karama, extra power. And so when that power appears at the hand of Sayyidina al-Mahdi, at that time, that power of the was given to the awliya to raise their murids to their level will appear with kun fayakun. This kun fayakun as a karama given by Allah to the creatures was mentioned by Shaykh Abdul Qadir Jilani in Kitab al-Ghunya. Kitab al-Ghunya, Kitab Futuh al-Ghaib, sorry, not Kitab al-Ghunya. In Kitab al-Ghunya he says, Shaykh Murid until Qiyamah must be always in dunya and mulk. There has to be Shaykh and Murid, never missing until Qiyamah. That's in Kitab al-Ghunya. But in Kitab Futuh al-Ghaib, not just one time, not just twice, 3 times he mentions that in the books, holy books revealed of old, the servant of Allah will be given the power of kun fayakun. He will reach that level. But Mawlana Shaykh said, yes, he will reach that level and it will be in the time of Mahdi and it will be with very little amal. Very little amal. Like we mentioned that this is part of the sunnah of Allah. But to what extent, to what level, to a level that we never saw before. بغير حساب, to a maximum level. Because there is no limit to Allah's gifts. See? So, that power of kun fayakun, he said, the murids will have it at that time, the time of Sayyidina al-Mahdi alayhi salam. And then, until after that time, and Sayyidina Isa and this small group of believers will be left around Sayyidina Isa, and then Allah will take them away. At that time, Sayyidina Isa will die. Only at that time, Allah will take them away, and there will be no one left in dunya saying Allah, Allah, Allah. At that time, it will be Qiyamah. So, but before that time, there will be a time of karamat for everyone to see openly and immense, huge karamat. Those karamats that Mawlana mentions in his book and describes as the karamat of the awliya, they are for everyone. Everyone with even a little bit of belief in their heart, a little bit of amal, and they will reach. So be happy, receive the good news. That company in dunya is, inshallah, is like a symbol to give us an idea that Allah, who has put us together like this in dunya, to have love for one another, for the sake of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, for the sake of Awliya Allah, for the sake of Mawlana Shaykh, that love we will find it again, inshallah, in Jannah, and to be, inshallah, في مقعد صدق عند مليك مقتدر. يعني higher and higher even than the highest paradises, to be في مقعد صدق عند مليك مقتدر, in the presence of Allah, to see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and He is pleased with us, and to be إخوانا على سرر متقابلين, brethren reclining on couches and relaxing and facing one another and happy, with forgiveness in the heart, with nothing but happiness and acceptance in the heart, with nothing negative. At that time, inshallah, we will see the same joy, but it will be perfect, it will be complete, it will be eternal, our joy. It will not have an end. There will be no separation. There will be no defects. There will be no sadness. It will be full and perfect and complete. At that time, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reunite us also with Mawlana Shaykh Abdullah, Mawlana Shaykh Nazim, Mawlana Shaykh Hisham, and to continue their suhbah, with them, which we enjoyed so much in Dar al-Dunya, also in Dar al-Akhirah, and to be with all the ones, the beloved ones that you love. And inshallah, we will say, yani we recognize this from before. We experienced this before, but now it is complete and perfect. Now, هذا الذي رزقنا من قبل. هذا الذي رزقنا من قبل. This is what we were given as rizq in dunya, but in akhirah it will be more perfect, more complete. See, but this is a sign of that rizq of akhirah also. So be happy. Allah mentioned it for us in the Holy Quran already. Be happy and believe this is haqq, this is true. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us that the certainty of that knowledge and the realization, so that we will say muhaqqaq, it is true, it is certain, and we realize it and we see it with our eyes and with our heart. And inshallah, at that time there will be no sadness and no separation, and that whirling also will continue, just as it began on the day of Alastu bi Rabbikum qalu bala. Even from that time we were whirling with happiness, and our souls are whirling and they never stop. ومن الله التوفيق بحرمة الحبيب بحرمة الفاتحة. والسلام عليكم.